something nasty happens, it kind of kills the video feed. All right,
Yeah.
there we go. Now, yay! I think we're broadcasting. Audio is on. Oh, except Facebook is still. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're going to Facebook. Yay! Audio's on. Back. Yes, we're up. We're up and running. One of these days, I'll actually sit down for a whole week and just
Oh, there we go. Okay.
smooth it all out and get it going again. Uh, get it well oiled. Right now, it's a total clunker, mishmash of things, and I don't have any of the assets going. And oh, I should. You're actually on video today. I should see if I can get your picture up there.
Hi. This is
Video
not my
capture.
bestie, but
Let's see. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna do this real fast. Just bear with me, folks. Oh wait.
don't
NDI
say anything
source
nasty.
should be okay. Let's. It's an NDI source. Properties. Yeah. Source name. Oh, jeez. Come on. Okay, we're not going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to go grab the Skype. Let's see. Window capture. And will it do it? Oh, of course not. It's going to be an SLB. Oh, yeah. Software. The more you get, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Well, we seem to be streaming on both YouTube and
Yeah,
Facebook.
we are
Yep.
streaming finally. So uh,
Excuse
today, well, of course, today was, I guess it was yesterday actually, was the first part of Amber Heard's, what I can't call it a victory tour, I guess, but a
me. What was that?
that's a wee beastie.
Okay, thought so.
Jeez, such a tiny little thing is
Crash.
making a hell of a racket. Um, yeah, she's, of course, we all know the verdict by now, because we've heard
Yeah.
the wailing and gnashing of teeth of all the talking heads on CNN and CBC, MSNBC, and all the irrelevant news shows that I don't watch. In fact, I don't watch network TV at all anymore.
Mm.
But I have heard about it. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
anybody could miss all that wailing and gnashing of teeth. I mean, it's just glorious. Uh, all these people that. No, just before I do that, I want to say this about the Johnny Depp trial and why the verdict is so important. I mean, it's, you can say that this is just another uh, a celebrity fascination thing, but it's a lot deeper than that for a number of reasons. This isn't just frivolous. Um, for a long time, Amber Heard had the mic, and when she wrote or participated in, along with the ACLU, May They Rot in Hell, uh, that WAPO, essentially a hit piece. I mean, that was, everybody
Oh,
believed
yeah, yeah, I
what
know.
went on. Um, Personally, I had no opinion, and because I just didn't know enough about the matter, that changed. I remember the day it changed because it was the day that I first heard that audio excerpt. Uh, that I think was just, she shot herself in the head. She shot her career in the head when the moment she made this comment. But she was daring Johnny Depp to go public with, uh, to tell the world that he is an abuse victim and that the world would not believe him. This is not what a so-called survivor says to the person that's abusing them. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never would that happen, because that is poking the bear and would, for lack of a better term, invite more physical violence. No, no abuse victim would ever say this, and I knew right then. Just one little thing, it just betrayed her, and everything that's happened since has confirmed that. The trial started. I watched, or I listened, mostly just listened, but while I was working, and except for the depositions, I'm not going to sit through 8 hours of depositions, boring depositions, that the same question getting asked by 10 times. Even the person being deposed was getting irate about that. Yeah, that's the sixth time you've asked that. Same answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listening to the testimony of these people, I began to wonder when it was that Amber Heard decided she was going to burn Johnny Depp to the ground.
Yeah, really. I guess with that article back in.
It was
what
before she left.
90?
It was before they split. Actually, he left her. It was before they split, for sure. And because there was that one video that she took of him abusing kitchen cabinets, which showed nothing. I mean, she knew how to push his buttons, and that was clearly a setup. She was taking video without his knowledge, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it was a brutal scene, to be sure, if you're a cabinet lover. But never was any violence directed at her. And every time he tried to leave, she would basically dare him to leave. And then every time he tried, she would be like, "Oh, don't go, don't go, don't go." This woman displays all the clinical signs of malignant narcissistic personality disorder. She's her self-importance. Everything has to be about her. She has to be the center of attention. All the gaslighting, the projection, what else? I wrote something here. I'm trying to remember what I wrote on the Facebook page. What did I say? Okay. Oh, it's at the bottom. Yeah, she is a narcissist for sure. A victimhood, of course. I mean, you can't call her a victim because she hates that, so she's victimized by being called a victim, which I thought was pretty rich.
Yeah.
Blaming everybody else, and also everybody was lying. I mean, 20 witnesses, they all had to be lying, right?
Oh my God.
The lack of empathy, her inability to cry on command, which speaks more to her acting abilities. But we're going to see this in a moment, in that she doesn't know how a truly distraught person acts. And it just turned on and off like a light switch. There's no decay time, and one of the things that really made her upset was people not believing her. And then when confronted by a lawyer who clearly did not believe her, she was completely flat. No emotion.
Yeah. It was, well, like you said, I didn't sit there and scrutinize it, but you can't really help but catch bits
that
and
last
pieces, right?
day of testimony was just, if you only sat through that was more than enough. And she's in her current apologetics tour, I should say, not apology tour. She's not apologizing for anything.
No. She's got a book deal, that's one.
Oh, jeez, no.
Yeah.
Great.
Of
Of course she does.
course.
I wonder who set that up, ACLU.
Oh,
Um, she's what was that? What was I going to say? It was it'll come back to me when we show that clip. But I wanted to show this first clip note the difference between in her demeanor and what she does also during cross examination. Now she's being asked questions by Camille Vasquez, one of Johnny Depp's lawyers, and she would look at Vasquez while the question's being asked and then turn to the jury. And I'm not turning my head, but my neck was getting sore. Because it's like watching somebody watching a tennis match. You know, like boom, 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 back and forth. It's just,
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
hell?
Well,
I think I know what she's trying to do, but
well, she's trying to convince the jury, obviously,
yeah,
right?
she's trying
Yeah.
to connect with the jury by looking directly at them. But it was just
Backfire.
strange. It's just really strange. Yeah, I'm going to play that first clip because let's see. Yeah, here we go. It says 3.5 minutes, so I'll probably pause it here and there.
Okay.
Oh, where am I? I got to put that up.
What do you hope to reclaim after this is over?
There we go.
Protecting the secret that I did for as long as I did has taken enough of my voice.
No, her voice was
Johnny
loud
has
enough.
taken enough of my voice.
That's kind of the whole point of this.
I have the right to tell my story. I have the right to say what happened to me. I have the right to my voice and my name. He took it long enough. I have a right as an American to talk about what happened to me, to own my story and my truth. I have that right. I hope to get my voice back.
Your voice is what got you here.
Wow.
Like, this is
Can't hear much of her now.
Hmm?
I can't hear now. Did you?
Oh, no, I
okay.
paused it for the moment.
Okay.
You know, she's gonna. Let's just keep going for here a second.
It's all I want. And I've said that from day one.
Thank you, Amber. I don't have anything else.
All right, cross-examination.
All right, there. She was, I guess I missed that part where she was talking about talking about the First Amendment of the Constitution and her right to free speech. Yeah,
Oh my.
that doesn't cover defaming speech. Sorry. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the cross-examination the first time around was devastating to her story. There was, she claimed to have had her nose broken, and she didn't say she thought it was broken. She said it was broken. So she's kind of trapped in that. And, ever seen somebody who's had their nose broken?
Yeah.
The
Usually a couple
extreme
of black
swelling,
eyes
the
and-
black eyes, and she's claiming that makeup would cover that. I'm like,
No.
sure, if you're going for the John Wayne Gacy look, but it's no, sorry, and there isn't enough ice in Antarctica to bring down the swelling of and you can't even breathe. I mean, you forget breathing through your nose. And there she was the next night on national TV.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Her looking
You're
absolutely
swollen for a while.
pristine,
Yeah.
untouched. There was another claim that she had that Johnny had put his a boot to her back, and there she is the next night with a backless dress, not a mark, not a bruise, nothing. Then there's that claim with the whole getting raped with a broken bottle thing. That was just like, oh, come on.
Wow.
And never went to the hospital, so there's no medical record. I'm sorry. How did you not bleed to death?
That I didn't hear of.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did.
So it was
Shit.
that was the sexual assault allegation.
Wow.
There was it was more than that. There was the night that she was there was broken glass on the floor, and her feet were slipping on the broken glass, and stuff like that. And then she got up and ran downstairs the next morning to make Johnny some coffee. And I'm like, how are you doing that with feet that are, have been turned into sashimi?
Yeah, really well.
She just couldn't help herself. It was, and of course, we're going to come to that claim where everybody's lying. She's insinuating it, even though she claims she's not insinuating it. It's kind of obvious. Like everybody's on Johnny's payroll. What about her doctor and nurse? They weren't on his payroll. The cops weren't on his payroll.
Yeah.
They didn't see any evidence of domestic violence. And they looked. They actually looked. So I don't think that's yeah. But anyway, this is a bit from the cross-examination last Friday morning, or whenever the last day of testimony was. I guess it was 2 weeks ago.
By pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that that was untrue, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his
Still
power.
not answering the question.
That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Ms. Heard, did you send a text message to Jerry Judge on May 24, 2016, telling Jerry Judge, quote, "I'm desperately trying to reach Johnny. It's extremely important. Please tell him"?
I remember sending the text message that is in front of me right now to Jerry, and I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny, or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ.
Now watch what happens here, because it's really telling. This is all a load of bullshit.
Was alerted.
Did you see that?
No.
Well, I'm going to play it again.
From some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
Whoops. She just admitted that TMZ was alerted, despite saying she wanted to Johnny to learn from it from someone he knew, and she let it blurt out, and she made it's a big tell, going to cover her mouth with her hands, and then smoothly transitions it to stroking her own cheeks to make it look like she wasn't doing that. But wow. Interesting. I want to do that again. I want to see that again. I want to see that again, because it's just so.
From
just
some
watch.
Other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
Boom. Tell me
Looked up there, didn't you, Miss Heard?
Yeah.
You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
Currying
And I know
favor
that
and
firsthand.
risking
I've lived
jail
it.
time for
about.
committing perjury?
Excuse me? I didn't.
Oh,
I
this
didn't
is
hear your
Camille.
question.
Sorry, this is Camille talking about the witnesses. How many witnesses had to be lying for her to be telling the truth?
Thank you. My question.
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind,
Curry-
please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For a
seen people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I
Nobody
wrote
else
the
has.
op-ed.
You didn't expect.
Yeah, it was brutal. That she's clearly already setting up Johnny. I mean, she actually got a hold of TMZ. She sent the video. She's the one that's leaked the video to TMZ of the cabinet abuse, and she also notified TMZ where she would be when she got the restraining order against Johnny, and what side of the face to take a picture of to show bruises.
Yeah. Wow.
And like somebody they had, and Johnny Depp had somebody from TMZ come in and attest to this. It's she was already setting him up. Actually, probably before that.
Yeah. What year is that? When was it again? 96, was it?
What?
No, it wouldn't have later than that. When she, the TMZ.
Oh, it was only a
thing.
couple of years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Where does the highlight? Oh, this is the highlight. Oh, that's a longer one. I don't want to do that one. This is more. This is what the apologetics tour. She's had an exclusive with NBC interview, and this is a little bit from here.
Evidence you presented.
Oops,
They listened to your happened in court and what the jury decided. There's no
look at the
polite
look on
way
her
to say
face.
it.
Can't quite see it yet because I've got a delay here.
Yeah, just have a look at her face, and she's like this lonely puppy dog look. Like the brows are a little furrowed in. Like I can't do it very well.
This is called acting.
Yes. No, it's bad acting. It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's so obvious and ham-fisted. It's like there's nothing subtle about this.
Yeah, wow.
The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought
They
you
had
were
good
lying.
reason not to believe her.
How could, I'll put it this way,
Oh, Saint
how could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
Randos.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Their job is
And you're not.
to not be dazzled by that. Their job is to look at the facts and the evidence. And they did not believe your testimony or your evidence.
Again, how could
You mean
they,
the doctored
after listening
photos or
to
the
3.5
set-up
weeks of
photos?
testimony about how I was a non-credible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth?
We're going to have more of our exclusive interview with Amber Heard first.
For the longest time, people believed Amber Heard. She was believed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Although, if I'm not mistaken, didn't his ex-wife come out pretty much straight away and say, "No, that's not the Johnny I know"? And
yeah,
quite a few
exactly.
people, I think, right away from the, yeah.
It was that I think Winona Ryder said that.
Okay, yeah.
And there was also this rumor that Johnny Depp had pushed
Oh yeah,
Kate Moss down the stairs.
Sister. No, I think it was her
I wonder
sister or
how
something.
that started. No. This is Kate Moss.
Oh, I thought it was her sister.
No, that's a whole different incident. No, this is what Amber Heard said was going through her mind. She didn't want her sister to end up like Kate Moss, pushed down the stairs. And
Her. Okay.
I wonder, that was a rumor.
Yeah.
I wonder who started that rumor. Amber.
Yeah, I wonder too. Yeah.
And Kate Moss testified on the last day as well for about 3 minutes and kind of said that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like so many other things that Amber had said, it didn't happen.
Well, not only did she say it didn't happen, but right away when he saw that she'd fallen, he came to rush.
Oh
to
yeah,
pick her up.
that's right. Yeah. He of course.
Yeah.
He was not even close enough to push her down the stairs, but when he saw that she'd fallen, he went and rendered aid. There's another part in this. I kind of was hoping it was in there, but she's saying that that Johnny Depp, he made people believe that he had scissors for fingers.
Oh God.
And I'm like, what? And I'm just like, no, I never really believed that he had scissors for fingers, and I don't believe he.
I also don't believe that he ground up humans, like since Sweeney Todd. I also don't believe
exactly.
That. There's a whole lot of shit that I don't believe because they're called movies.
The best.
That's the point.
The best comment I saw today was on Reddit on Nate the Lawyer's YouTube channels, and this one person had said, "Go ahead, Johnny, tell the world that you've got scissors for fingers. No one will believe you." Which I thought was like, ooh, snap. That was good.
God.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just look at her demeanor in this, and it's like, oh, pity me. I'm so pitiful. God, it's just so thick.
Does she not have PR people or what?
Does she not have an acting coach?
Jeez. Well, that too. But
it's just
handlers, like get a PR person.
Oh, she does have a PR person. I don't know what
that person must be.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's not the first PR team that she had. She fired her PR team during the trial and got a new one. And they're going out and creating hit pieces about YouTubers making money off of watching the trial. And I'm like, okay, and?
Yeah, so what?
They're offering up their... how much money did the person that wrote that hit piece make per writing it?
Yeah.
That's the same person that doxed that liberals... What was it? It was I think it was Instagram channel that had these unhinged lefty videos. But yeah, doxing somebody. And then when somebody doxed her, she's like, oh, I don't deserve this. But it was okay when you did it, But when it happens to you, oh no. Like I keep saying, social justice is a narcissism generator. It creates narcissistic people. They're all victims. They're all they're all demanding things, and they claim to be the very thing. They claim to be things that they actually are or against things that they actually are themselves, like racist and sexist.
Well, yeah, don't get me started about cultural studies and critical race theory, because I've been on critical theory generally and on I hope I clarified myself.
Well, one of these times we're going to have to dive deep into critical race theory. I mean, it's just incredible. I had no idea that that teachers had started to, peddle this crap to children. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a higher level academic concept, and it's been deployed in such a way that it's meaningless
weaponized,
now.
right? It's totally weaponized.
Yeah. And I mean, I keep going on about Stuart Hall because he predicted this 30 years ago. He said basically, I don't know what the hell Americans are doing with, cultural theory and critical studies. And I worry that it itself is becoming an institution and one that's getting highly funded. Well, isn't that an interesting observation? And he was the founder of the Birmingham School, right? One of the founders. Yeah. And he's Jamaican. So I think when people hear the name Stuart Hall, they think, oh, white guy, I'm not going to read that shit. So, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that...
white scholar, no, can't read that. White
assuming, making assumptions about people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me. And another thing he was talking about, because at that time, the feminists were trying to get, into the Birmingham School and with their ideas, and there was a lot of resistance because it was, mostly, old white guys, right? And he found himself, what he says kind of thing is that I found myself having gone from, he supported them, and he, thought it was very, good to bring them in and all that stuff. And he said he went from going from the margins to being the old guard, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Canceled.
One of the, well, not really. I mean, that's what it is. That's an argument, and the feminists had to justify why they wanted in, and
so gatekeeping.
Yeah, and he, like you said, no, let's let him in, and it's like, wow, all of a sudden I'm not the marginalized person anymore. I see hard, and there wasn't very many, and they weren't getting funding, and all this kind of stuff, right? Versus what was going on in the U.S., and it's very interesting to read what he has to say about that. Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, hello, kitty.
Can you hear him purring?
No. Gotta move the mic closer. Aw. Going on your head. Now I can hear. Aw.
Yeah, I wish that one part was so. Oh, maybe it is here. See this.
By fire against her on social media.
Oh, here we go. Maybe I
don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things, and so I don't take it personally. But even somebody who is...
Then why'd you write the WAPO piece?
I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think
Welcome
that this
to
has
the
been
internet.
Fair.
Of course, we also touched on what happened in court and what the jury decided.
I don't know if this is part we've started into.
There's no polite way to say it.
I'm not getting
the jury
visual.
Looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could...
Oh, yeah. We've done
put it this way.
Right. But, yeah, it's that whole thing about the scissors hands. I think she thought that was a mic drop.
Who the hell said that?
It was Amber Heard in this interview. I wish I could...
Oh my God.
I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah. I read it somewhere, and I just thought... I didn't even know who said it. I'm just like, that's something about a lawyer working for a guy who claims to have scissors for fingers. I'm like, what the fuck is that mean? Holy crap, this is so stupid.
It is stupid, but I think she thought it was she was saying something profound.
Well.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh,
Sir, I'm going to ask you to take a look at...
stop it, cat. He's such a slobbery cat, too. He's just sprayed me with cat slobber. He's a good boy, but...
What's his name?
Oh, this is Hammy.
Hammy.
Hammy, because he looks like a piggy. Heard interview. All right, let's see if I can find it.
Amber Heard joined Savannah Guthrie for part 1 of her 2-part sit.
Okay, let's see.
I
God. He's
Difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
do you stand by your testimony and your
I'm
accusation?
going to go through this quickly, see if I can find
Most
that.
humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. It's a great question.
Well, I love this part.
Humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
What do you think Johnny
I've never
feels like?
felt more removed from my own humanity.
Let's go back to the day of the
That doesn't
verdict.
surprise me.
Were you feeling confident?
I got to say, whoever the audio person is should be shot. Whoops. Oh, God. I mean, this is horrible
Amber
audio.
Heard joined Savannah Guthrie.
I mean,
At risk.
2 seconds.
Not only
in
will
a-
you
in
take
a-
the blame for
in a
things
DAW, and
that
this is
you
fish.
shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you
Like
don't
Johnny.
have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything
Look at
but
the
when you're
sneer.
living
A lot of
in
people
it.
have been
But then there are
making
other
a-
times, there's another tape where you're taunting him.
Physically,
watch her sneer.
you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and
Look at
white,
that
because
sneer.
it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying,
And this
oh,
is
tell
the
the world, Johnny
thing
Depp,
that changed my
I, a
mind.
man, am a victim of domestic violence.
Moved me in.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them.
20-second clip of a larger audio recording that Amber Heard's team tried very hard to keep out of the trial. So, out of context, my ass.
Are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
It's totally representative.
Thoughts, Keisha?
Oh, here, I gotta
Oh
hear
my
this.
God. First of all, too soon. Too soon. Take a minute.
Hey,
really, like,
is this
take a minute. I
A
feel like
reasonable...
in situations like this, when you see that the court of public opinion is not in your favor, right? And
Nor were
if
the
you
courts,
genuinely are
period.
like, hey, what I have to say is important, and I have truth to my stories, and
No,
I
she
want
doesn't.
people to believe me, then you should
that's true.
take a moment and really try to understand why people don't believe you in the
That's
first
because she's
place.
lying.
And just to just be so soon and so quick. Also, I thought this was all over defamation, and we're back talking about these things again. And it just feels a little touchy.
It is
For me,
about
like I've said from day
defamation.
one, I don't believe Amber. And I was on Amber's side in day one. When a victim says something has happened to them,
talking head
I want
that's
to
intelligent.
believe them first and foremost, because I know it takes courage to speak out against an abuser. And then as time went on, I was starting to look at her a little off. And
Oh, she was
then,
a little
we
off.
canceled Johnny and we went through this whole thing. And then now we go to trial. We see the testimony. I really, I understand her point that there are a lot of
all the
Johnny
slobber
fans,
cat,
but
jeez.
there are a lot of people that were on her side and believed in her too. Johnny did go through a cancel Johnny period. So we can't
He
say
also
his
went through
fans are
abuse.
just so blind to him. Because if that were the case, he would have had so
And that's
many
the
movies
thing.
after
The
that.
assumption
We
is
did believe her.
the assumption is that men don't get abused. In fact, I heard one feminist talking head on MSNBC actually say that it was rare.
Oh, that's not.
Like
It's rare that they talk about it.
yeah,
because,
or it's
when
reported.
a man's
Yeah.
being, yeah.
But I think for women, it's 44% of women have had abusive relationships. 29% of men have been in abusive relationships. So that's hardly rare, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
reasonably
And I mean,
close to similarity, to be comparable.
Physical abuse, there's different forms of abuse,
Sure.
that kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when it's a man that's the abuser, the physical abuse is much more severe. But women
Well,
can be
I
really
don't know
nasty,
about
too.
that because I had a friend, one of my friends, came out that, after they split up, that she'd been beating the crap out of them pretty regularly. And this guy with a black belt who could have flicked her in a minute, but he just wouldn't,
because you don't want to do that to somebody that you care about, right?
Yeah.
And they also, that other person is the stronger, not character, but the stronger, the more...
Domineering, I guess, right?
Dominating.
Dominant. Yeah.
And it you don't attack that. It's just a natural reaction that if you're what's the opposite of dominant?
Passive.
Yeah, if you're the more passive,
because he was a very chill guy.
You're not going to return violence in kind.
Yeah. Nor are they going to talk to anybody about it either, apparently, because apparently went on for years, right? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even learn that from him.
It starts becoming a new normal.
Yeah.
Oh, I still do want to find that mic drop, her mic drop. What was it? It might be Sky.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here
it seems
with
like
me now,
just like yesterday.
has it sunk in?
Not until the bank account's drained.
Surreal and difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
The real-life drama of the
she's certainly
defamation
committed to
case
the lie.
between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading
There's
across
a lot
social
of
media like
parodies
wildfire.
going on now.
I think the vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think
I'm not blaming the jury. I'm not blaming the jury at all. How could they not have seen this?
And then you'll look in the mirror, and then you'll find who to blame, lady.
Why would they go looking for stuff on the internet about the trial they've spent the whole freaking day sitting in?
Yeah. Plus,
that's the last thing they want to do.
They're sequestered.
No, they weren't sequestered.
Oh, okay. Well, that's shocking.
No, not really.
Okay.
It's pretty uncommon for that. They're just told don't.
Geez,
don't go on social
this
media.
higher profile one I would have thought would be.
No, not really. No. It's you got to put some trust in the jury. I mean, you already are putting your trust in the jury to get to a verdict, right?
Yeah.
So all you do is say, "Yep, go home. Don't look on social media." And it's. She thinks it's impossible. No, she's trying to tell us it's impossible. Of course, it's not impossible to ignore what's on social media. You just don't look.
Yeah.
Play minefield. Like I say, the last thing these people want to do is, I wonder what social media is saying about the trial today.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They sat through those depositions of boring hours that at times they actually did fall asleep, by the way. I've been listening to YouTube lawyers, lawyer channels, and that were actually in the courtroom, and they were watching the jury to get a feel for their reaction to things, and sometimes it was just too boring for them, and they just gnawed off.
Wow.
But it's they were apparently playing things very close to the vest. It was very tough to read them. But there was one guy that apparently really had daggers out for Amber Heard, so he was obvious.
Really?
But the other ones were not so.
Well, okay.
You hear all this the plaintiff's stuff, and it's like, wow, yeah. They've got a lot of receipts. Amber Heard's not so much.
Even the most
Yeah, I felt
well-intentioned.
sorry for her lawyer.
Yeah, yes and no. You know, she wasn't very good.
Well, from what I've heard, she typically is. But I mean, at one point she said, "I'm trying my best." Or so
yeah,
she just
because
looks
she
so,
wanted to get to an answer that she couldn't get the question for without it being objected to as hearsay. And
and objected. Did you hear that whole?
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh,
There's
they
totally
would
some
just they were
objections
just
within,
they had the band hammer out, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
Stop with the hearsay. And it got to the point where the judge was like, yeah, just stop that. Not to Johnny Depp's team, but to Elaine. I can't remember her last name. She was like, yeah, you're really testing my patience with all these hearsay questions. So it got to the point where she was framing the questions, what if any? And it's become kind of a meme.
Yeah.
And seems to think that removes the hearsay aspect of it, or the leading aspect of it. And the judge says, what if any doesn't make it not a leading question? And she actually said, yes, it does. And I'm like, you just what? I think the judge ignored the pushback, but I'm not sure she should have. You don't do that in a courtroom to a judge. You don't talk back. And it's just and she's been burning some bridges.
God, that must have been a tough one.
Yeah, well, the scuttlebutt is that Amber Heard was pretty much leading the defense, which is a big mistake.
Oh yeah.
Which is why she was on the stand on the last day. So her lawyers would have told her, don't go on the stand today, on the last day. But she wanted to tell that, wrap herself in the American Me Too and First Amendment, flags. It's just, it was disgusting.
Guns and Bibles and freedom and all that shit too.
Oh, it was just despicable. It was just despicable. Yeah. And it was so over the top. And she can't cry on command. Her tears are fake. I mean, there were no tears. Okay. There's a suggestion that she might have used some a tearing aid in her Kleenex or handkerchief, but we don't know that. That's just an allegation. I don't know. It didn't work anyway. It was all fake. You could see it through it. It was just amazing. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Yeah.
Except that it's happening to a person that kind of deserves it.
Can we take just a moment, because I think I have a pet outside and there's like wind warnings and all the stuff.
Oh yeah, you're getting all that rain down there, right? How much rain do you get?
Yeah. Not as much as we were expecting, because we were expected to flood, and that warning has been,
6
not
inches
retracted or whatever kind of thing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, of course I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna get evacuated again. So it's a little stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I think it's wind warnings now, unless they've released them too. So we're talking, I don't know, 90 kilometers an hour, and they're warning about falling trees and roofs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that kind of damage. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna search for that. I'll see if I can find that, because it's just gold. I'll just be a moment here.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Sure. Okay. Excuse me, I'm just gonna go on mute here, folks. Just somebody better remind me that we're muted. Found it. Ha ha ha. All right. This is just priceless. I'm sure she practiced this whole thing in front of a mirror for hours. It's too much. It's just too much. I mean, how her demeanor, it's all contrived. It's not spontaneous. It's not real. It doesn't feel real.
I just got back. Sorry. Yeah, no, I know.
None of it feels real. I found the spot.
Okay.
So here we go.
Are you?
The truth
not
is
on
the
mute,
word.
Yes,
That was the issue.
and that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
No,
In
you
the
lied.
closing
You paid the
arguments,
price.
the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer.
Mic
I had
drop.
listened to weeks of tesmoney
She thought that was profound.
insinuating that,
Wow,
or
yeah.
saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress.
You are.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team
You're-
argued that you
What?
were the abuser.
What? That doesn't even make sense. You're performing, but you're not doing it very well there, Amber. And so they're completely consistent.
Consistent. Yeah.
Like she thinks that she's such a good performer. The whole point is that we could see through the performance. That's the whole point.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
She just can't understand that maybe she really isn't such a great actress.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. What did you, where were you at before the trial?
Well, I mean, as much as I'm unpop cultured, everybody knows Johnny Depp. I've even seen probably most of, certainly a lot of his movies. But, also, I've never heard a bad word about him from anybody who's ever worked with him or, never. In fact, he's the kind of guy that will, dress up in costume and go to a children's hospital and that kind of thing, right? Just for the hell of it, to make people happy. And right away when his wife came out and said, or his ex-wife, I should say, no, that's not, true. And, other women started coming out who had relationships with him right from the get-go. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, the history wasn't there. And this kind of thing, this kind of behavior doesn't just pop up. There's
Did you see
always a trail.
Dave's video?
Who?
Dave's video? Dave?
No.
Silverman?
No, I haven't.
He said I was wrong, basically, because Johnny Depp was supposed to be at Reason Rally too, right?
Yeah, a lot of people were wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was supposed to show up at Reason Rally 2016, and Dave canceled him, and now he knows he was wrong to do that, right? Yeah. And it's a good video.
That's a tough decision to make, too. At
Yeah.
the time, but, if you believe the allegations, what do you do?
Well, and I have to say, as an organization, even if you didn't believe the allegations, you probably would have had to make that just as a PR move anyway.
Or as a safer.
Yeah.
Safer play.
But
I just had no comment either way. I just didn't, unlike a lot of people, I don't just believe because.
Yeah.
And we've been steering into very dangerous waters with this. And there's no question that in this case, that Johnny Depp was the victim. And she's still trying to victimize him. And the talking heads, especially MSNBC, but they were saying that, we don't, we never meant believe all women. The problem is that now you're presented with someone who is clearly lying, is clearly being vindictive, clearly abusing the Me Too movement, and you're still saying believe her, I don't believe them.
And she fancied herself as some kind of leader of the movement.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, she's an ambassador for the ACLU, right?
Okay.
For domestic violence.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I wasn't making that connection.
A match
okay.
made in heaven,
wow.
as far as I'm concerned. You can have her ACLU. They're a shell of their former selves.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
They are totally off mission, or unless they've changed their mission statement, I suppose. But they're way off mission, and they used to not care about your politics. If your civil liberties were being abused, they would take your case no matter what, no matter who.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. And I just don't, say, it's unfortunate, because who else is there to stand up for civil liberties?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I guess Americans United against, what is it? Americans United against separation, against, what is it? Americans United
for something. Separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Not against separation. There's too much of that.
No. Wait a minute, I'm wrong.
It's a lot of that. Yeah. I'm not, it's funny, I'm not concerned with the religious the religious encroachment on government as I am about the woke culture, the woke cult, we'll call it. I never would have thought that would have taken hold anywhere, and it's just everywhere now. It's almost like it's an invasion, it feels, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing, and they sort of get into all the areas of halls of power and.
Are you suggesting that they themselves become a powerful institution that no longer has capacity?
Not an institution insofar as like a like chaos.
Or a system?
A get smart chaos. No, not an institution, but it's kind of more like a slime mold that's growing. You can identify the slime mold over it, its entire, what it's covering, but you can't point to, individual cells and stuff. It's just like it is like that though. It's a Manchurian Candidate kind of thing. It's weird, and it's very much like one of these alien invasion things, films.
Many people have said it before. It's like a religion.
Yeah, it is. It's very cultish, and it displays it ticks all the boxes for that characterize cults.
No, I don't know about all of them. They're not like
pretty much. I actually
beating them.
I actually did it. I actually went through the list, a list of characteristics of cults, and it ticked every one. It was incredible.
Well, because I mean, one thing a cult will do is try and separate you from, your family and friends, and that kind of thing, right? To the point where they were, like literally.
And that happens all the time.
And feed you low protein food and shit, so you can't think properly and all the shit, right?
Yeah. They do that all the time.
But what do you mean?
You've never seen
cults
it happen? You've never seen.
Are you talking about cults or?
I'm talking about social justice, woke culture. They do that all the time.
What do you mean?
Separate people from
by
ideology, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
but they're,
they punish heresy. They want the world to change for them.
Shaming and shunning,
which is narcissistic, but anyway.
Yeah.
Shaming, very, very, very much a tactic. In fact, they've overplayed that card, and nobody cares anymore. I didn't care from the get-go, but a lot of people did care. They didn't want to be called racist or whatever, and I'm like, what do you care what these people think? They're idiots.
Well, I care because
I know
that's not the point of critical theory. You're supposed to, it's a tool to use to criticize social structures and institutions, not individuals.
Yeah, I don't even think it's much of a tool.
Well, it can be. It can be. What's his name again? Dorian. His last name was Dorian. We had him on. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
A while back when. I'm so sorry, I can't remember his first name, but I mean, he had interesting things to say that, because there was a time when it was pretty powerful in terms of providing insights into things, right? But yeah, once it's so watered down that it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I mean, like white supremacy. I mean,
it's lost its power.
You turn over a rock, there's a white supremacist or a Nazi. If you listen to these people, they're everywhere. It's ridiculous. When you redefine white supremacy to mean being on time for something, or getting the right answer in math. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just going to earn a smack topside the head from me. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I should say, I guess being smart is white supremacy too, because you're an idiot. Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand why society has entertained this crap. You got to stop it. It's funny. I've been talking with people at work about this a lot. One of the guys I work with, also the CEO, I was talking with him last night, and I was talking about California. We were talking about California. He moved away from California. Couldn't stand it.
It's,
a
lot of people are doing that, eh?
Sorry?
I said a few people are doing that.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are doing that, moving up toward Texas, and just stay away from Austin, folks. Just saying.
Stay away from where?
Austin.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Alaska.
No, yeah, Austin's a pretty bad.
Put them in the deep freeze.
No, Alaska is pretty redneck. I mean, think about Sarah Palin, right?
Sarah Palin.
Yeah. Don't worry, Alaska. We're redneck here too, in Alberta. We've got our own problems. I mean, U.S. has a president that hasn't got a brain, and we've got a woke prime minister who thinks that his new gun control laws are going to keep guns out of the hands of criminals, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyway. Yeah.
What exactly is being proposed there?
What they're proposing is that the sale of firearms will be, handguns will be completely prohibited. You can, if you already own one, you can keep it for now. I mean, I'm sure they're going to go after that later too. But you can't resell it. You can't even so much as give it as an inheritance.
Will it to somebody?
Nope.
Or, yeah. Okay.
That's
out.
out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is this law. It will do zilch. It's window dressing. It will do nothing because
I guess we'll see.
The vast majority of gun crime comes from guns that are already illegal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
No, it's not probably. It's true.
I don't know the stats.
That's the stats.
Yeah,
That's what the stats tell us. And so this will do nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. And it's easy to smuggle a gun into Canada from the U.S. I mean, Detroit's right across a bridge from Toronto.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm getting mighty tired of somebody from, Ottawa and the rest of Southern Ontario trying to tell the rest of the country how to live.
That's been going on forever.
I don't know what to do about it. We need to get rid of Trudeau.
And put in who?
I don't know.
Right? That's the thing.
Actually, Candice Bergen seems to actually be a fairly decent example of a conservative leader.
Okay.
I kind of like her.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so I have to vote for somebody. I just feel so disenfranchised, you know.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
You know, these people are their politics just don't reflect. And part of the problem is that in the West, our population is not as density is not sufficient to make a big dent in Southern Ontario, their control of things, and Quebec. But Quebec stands up for themselves. They don't really speak for the rest of Canada.
That's true.
It's Southern Ontario that keeps thinking that they're all of Canada, and I'm just kind of done with that attitude, and I'm done with Justin, and especially with this de facto coalition government with the NDP.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the banks all of a sudden are pariahs because they dare to make a profit. So what?
Well, outrageous profits is one thing.
Sure.
You know, yeah.
But they're not doing it. You know, they're not gouging people. You know, they don't make their money off of banking fees. It's investment and lending and yeah. And that's pretty much set by, you know, lending rates are set by Bank of Canada pretty much, plus, you know, a quarter or whatever percent. You know, mortgages, that kind of thing, and the regulation in Canada kept the banks here from being exposed to the subprime mortgage bubble that popped, you know, like 20 years ago or whatever. So we already have regulation, but they want to penalize. They actually are demonizing. Like the NDP is demonizing banks because, you know, capitalism bad. Even though that's what gives us our standard of living, right? It's easy to do that from a position with where you have a great standard of living. But
I wish Jack Layton was still around. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He would have definitely been better than Singh, but
he was really good.
I don't know about his policies. I don't know enough about him. So.
Well, he's a good opposition, at least, right? You know.
Yeah, Mulcair's not bad. Actually, you know what? He's actually better as a talking head than he was as a NDP leader. He's
Layton?
Yeah, no, Mulcair.
Okay.
Previous to Layton, his commentary is really good. But you're kind of limited in what you can do in commentary when you're the leader of a political party.
That's true. Yeah.
But so far, I am fairly aligned with what's been going on with the Conservative Party now. And I'm hoping they move away from their religious roots, or not roots. What's the word I'm looking for? The trend towards religion they had for a while.
What do you think about this whole challenge to Roe versus Wade? What the hell is that?
Oh, it's just they're throwing it back to the individual states, and so it's going to come back. There's going to be lots of court challenges, but I've never understood the decision of Roe v. Wade. It just didn't make any sense to me. And it's certainly it's about privacy issues. To me, that's not a convincing argument. I'm convinced more by the competing rights, and in that I can grant a fetus a right to life and yet still be against banning abortion, because if I have some disease that is going to kill me, and your body is a suitable substitute, suitable life support do I have the right to forcibly use your body as life support?
Yeah.
And I don't. So why would we grant a special right to fetuses for that? I just don't see how you can get away from that. So it's we'll see. It's going to be a long road ahead. However, I do know that killing Supreme Court justices is really not an answer.
No, that would be a bad idea.
Or even so much as picketing their front lawns, which is extremely threatening, and you should be all arrested, thrown in prison for interfering in a judicial process. I have I don't care whether I agree with the decision or I don't. That's irrelevant.
Exactly.
When you interfere in the judicial process, you are interfering with one of the pillars of democracy. Then, as far as I'm concerned, you're an enemy of the state.
Yep.
Zero tolerance. If it were up to me, it would be life in prison.
Yeah, that's too much, going right on people's front lawns and stuff.
Do not fuck with institutions like the Supreme Court. I don't care whether you agree with it or not. Does not matter. That's out of bounds.
I mean, it's good to challenge institutions, but it's not good to threaten people that are part of this. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, and they could say, "Oh, we're just demonstrating." No, you're not. You know it. You know you're not just demonstrating. You're not fooling anybody, and but that's just this whole thing that if you let them do this unchallenged, it just emboldens them. I mean, we've seen such a rise in police being ambushed and killed because the current political climate has kind of made it okay.
Yeah, and probably very demoralizing for them to try to do their jobs,
Well, there's a lot that goes into that because they're not getting any support from their from politicians, and even though Biden finally said that, of course we'll fund the police, and I'm like, I don't believe him. I don't believe a word he says anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter. He's a meat puppet.
Well, I mean, isn't defund the police kind of a soundbite anyway? I mean, there's no excuse that military should be, be given to, police departments, but, but
that's actually how it saves cost for police departments because they're just Army's getting rid of surplus.
Yeah, but then when they abuse it, they don't need that. And if they do, if there's such a, then call in the military.
Uniforms? They abuse uniforms?
No. I'm talking about if shit gets so bad that you need tanks and all that kind of crap, then
they don't have tanks.
It's time to...
They have APCs and they absolutely need them.
Okay.
I've seen, because when SWAT goes in, they've got shields, but they also have armored personnel carriers so that they're not getting killed because they're getting shot at, right?
Yeah.
The single most important case, this actually came up in conversation last night too, single most important incident that were militarization, which caused militarization of police, was the North Hollywood shootout. And the two guys in full body armor with automatic weapons, they were robbing a bank, held who knows how many cops were involved in that. It was dozens, and totally had them at their mercy. They had all they had were their service pistols, and one cop had a shotgun. He shot one of them with the shotgun, did nothing.
Yeah.
And he thought he'd missed. He thought, did I miss? There's no way I could miss. No, he didn't miss. The guy was in full body armor.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they had to go and break into a local pawn shop to get higher caliber weapons.
Wow. Holy shit.
Because they were just outgunned. And the whole thing was televised by helicopter. And they eventually took them down, but these guys fired well over 1,000 rounds.
Jesus,
Yeah. And so that told the cops something that they needed to do was beef up their weaponry. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay. Did you hear that? My furnace just kicked on.
Yeah, I just did. I thought it was a good time to.
Yeah, burr. It's freaking cold. 2 days ago it was like really nice, and yesterday it's been shit.
Kind of cold all day here, but we're not getting the rain you are. So.
Yeah.
All right.
I see a little warning on my computer screen, so just batten down the hatches and yeah.
All right.
See you soon.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, bye.